All right, let's talk about something that's absolutely central to the diploma program, teacher collaboration. You know those required planning meetings? Well, we're going to look at how they can go from just a compliance thing, something you have to do, to becoming the most powerful tool your school has for student success. It's a journey from just ticking a box to making a real impact.
So let me just start with this big question. For all you DP teachers listening, what if the real key to your student success wasn't some fancy new tech or curriculum? What if it's already sitting right there, in your regular planning meetings? Seriously, what if that time could be harnessed to do something, well, something truly game-changing?
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with planning and reflecting together. Then we'll look at the DP's collaboration blueprint and why it's actually required. After that, we get to the really powerful stuff, collective belief and how it all leads to unlocking student achievement. Let's get into it.
All right, part 1, planning and reflecting together. These two things are really the heart and soul of any effective DP team.
So first up, what do we mean by collaborative planning? Look, it's so much more than just swapping lesson plans in the staff room. This is about all the teachers getting together systematically to build one single, cohesive roadmap for the student's entire DP journey. Everyone's on the same page, building the same path.
And then you've got the other side of the coin, reflection. This is just as crucial. It's basically the process of looking back and asking the tough questions. How did that unit actually go? What worked? What didn't? The whole point is to figure out how to make the next plan even stronger. And this is super important. These two things, planning and reflection, they aren't separate jobs. They're totally connected. Think of it like a cycle, right? You plan, you teach, you reflect. And that reflection feeds directly back into making your next plan better. It's this constant, powerful loop of getting better and better. Okay, moving on to part 2, the DP collaboration blueprint. So what exactly does the IB expect teachers to be talking about in these meetings?
Well, here's the blueprint, the official checklist, if you will. We're talking about making connections between different subjects, figuring out how to really integrate TOK and CAS, not just tack them on. It's also about differentiation for different learners, building in those crucial ATL skills, and getting on the same page with assessments. And finally, that big one, vertical and horizontal articulation. Basically, making sure everything flows smoothly for students both across their subjects in one year and from one grade level to the next.
Right, part 3, why collaboration is required. So we know what we're supposed to be collaborating on, but why is this not just a friendly suggestion?
Because, let's be clear, this isn't just a nice idea. It is a hard and fast requirement. The IB's Program Standards and Practices, the PSP, are crystal clear on this. Schools have to show actual proof that this kind of collaboration is happening regularly and systematically. There's no getting around it.
And it's built right into the standards. You've got leadership standards that say this planning has to be structured. You've got teacher support standards that say schools must carve out dedicated time for it. And then the curriculum standards make sure that time is actually used to plan a coherent program that lives up to the IB's goals. See how they all work together? It's about creating a whole culture of teamwork. Okay, part 4, the power of collective belief. Now this is where things get really, really interesting. We're moving beyond the rules and requirements and into what happens when this collaboration truly comes alive. This is the shift from compliance to real impact. So ask yourself this. What happens when those meetings stop being something you have to go to and become something that genuinely defines the school's culture? What's born out of that change?
The answer is something called collective teacher efficacy. And trust me, this is one of the most powerful ideas in all of education, and it's backed by tons of research.
So what on earth is collective teacher efficacy, or CTE? Put simply, it's the shared belief across the entire staff that as a group, they can have a massive positive impact on student learning. It doesn't matter what challenges are coming from the outside, it's this deep-seated confidence that we can do this. It's the shift in mindset from my kids in my classroom to our students in our school.
So, how do you build this incredible belief? Well, the researchers Hattie and Zira put it perfectly. They say that collaboration is the engine that drives CTE. All that day in, day out work of planning together, solving problems together, figuring things out as a team, that's what builds the shared confidence. That's the engine.
And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, part 5, unlocking student achievement. So why do we care so much about building this collective belief? What's the big payoff?
Here's why it matters, and this is the big takeaway.
It's because collective teacher efficacy is one of the strongest predictors of student achievement that we know of, period. It is an absolute game changer. And the data is just incredible. When researchers rank all the things that influence student learning, CTE is way up at the top. In fact, its impact is even bigger than factors we all know are important, like a student's socioeconomic background. Just think about that for a second. The belief that a faculty has in itself can have more impact than a student's family income. It proves that a team that believes it can win usually does. So what does this shift look like in a school? Well, you move from a collection of isolated classrooms, silos, where teachers work alone and maybe blame outside factors when things get tough, and you move to a culture of real synergy, of collective impact. Here, everyone shares responsibility, everyone believes in their power as a team, and what you see are incredible, amplified results for students.
And that really leaves us with a final question to take back to our own schools. The next time you walk into that planning meeting, ask yourself, are we just here to tick a box for the IB? Or are we here to do the real work of building our collective power, the power to truly change our students' lives? Something to think about.